Everybody knows my mantra: food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. And today I'm going to show you what I do for food and water and a teeny weeny bit about the security, which of course is in layers. So all that and more coming up. I'm Lynette Zhang, Chief Market Analyst here at ITM Trading, a full-service physical gold and silver dealer specializing in custom strategies to help you survive and thrive the crisis, frankly, that has already begun. And a big part of that, and this is what we know historically, food becomes the single biggest issue for people during any economic crisis and certainly a hyperinflationary event. And I believe so strongly that you must be as independent and self-sufficient as possible during these periods of time. Though quite honestly, I think that's true anywhere or at any time. We always need that food, water, energy, etc. So today I'm going to show you the 3 food creating aquaponic systems at my house, and I'll explain them to you as we move forward. The first one I'm going to talk about is my largest one. And about a year ago, I converted my swimming pool, which I had to put chemicals in to keep clean, into an aquaponic swimming pond. It is now in aquaponics, you use fish waste as the fertilizer. So in that particular pond, I have butterfly koi, which are beautiful. And yes, I do swim in this pond as well. But let me show you the different pieces and parts of that. Because in the back here, I have waterfalls, and you'll notice that it's up high. So part of the aquaponic system is you need to have it so that, number one, it's always circulating. There's always running water. And also you start from a higher level and then work low. So I have my waterfalls there, and then my catchment is there's bogs along the side. I'm going to show you this in more detail. And then my catchment is there, and so it circulates through the whole system easily and just like that. And between there, I'm going to show you the filtration system. These are actually floating islands that we planted out, and the roots help filter the water. So the fish creates the nutrients and the waste. The plants pull that nutrient dense water in, and so you can see how well they're going. This is the end of the season. I just took these like a couple of weekends ago, and so we're going into the winter now, and this will go down a bit, but you can see it here as well. That's all fed from the fish. I don't put any additional nutrients in there. It's just what these wonderful butterfly koi give me. And so here are the floating islands. Now, this is a bog, and there's also a bog behind the waterfall, and this is what that looks like. As far as food goes, the plants are put in lava rock. On the island, I use coconut coir, but in the rest of the beds, we use lava rock because it's very porous, so it can absorb and hold a lot of water, and the roots go into that, and also that's part of the filtration system. These, by the way, are water spinach and are used quite a lot in Oriental cooking. So I use them, I saute them, and then I also use them raw in my salads, and I think they're delicious. They're about ready to go to seed. But this is another key part of the filtration system. These are bead filters, and then underneath here, everything goes through UV light. So remember, in that circulation, or actually it goes that way. The circulation, all of the water goes through the bead filters and the UV lights. No chemicals, zero chemicals. And yes, I'd still filter the water because there is fish waste in it, but that's basically that plus this side bog is how I clean all of the water. Now, between that, the floating islands, and then the bead filters and the UV lights. This is Daisy May, and she is my security. She's one of my many, many, many layers of security. And she happened to be there, so she's a beautiful dog, and I love her very much. But nobody's messing with me with a 150-pound dog by my side. And when I'm home, she stays with me at all times. Now, this next one is my mature tilapia pond. So this pond is really easy. I mean, I dug this out. Well, I didn't do it myself, but we had a whole bunch of people. It's 3 feet deep and roughly, this way it's about 20 feet, and maybe at the depth it's like 15 feet. So it's not very big, but it can hold a lot of water. Again, you've got a lot of circulation. This is water lettuce that actually we feed to the fish. But this is the pond that holds my oldest, most mature tilapia, which then, of course, they all have babies and what have you. And this is the filtration system, which actually is, you can't see it from here, but it's like in the back there. And again, you can see how that's stepped down. So a big important part of all of this is that the water is always circulating and it's always going from higher to lower, higher to lower. Then a pump will bring it up higher and it'll do that all over again. And it filters through that plus these grow beds, which there's 3 of them here. And I'll show you this better in the hothouse area, but it flows from those 2 black tanks or 2 black buckets, which are food grade. You can get any of this at your local hydroponic store. Will have those food grade buckets, but they're very inexpensive. You can pick up the lava rock at any home goods store like Lowe's or, or I don't know if Ace has it, Home Depot or Garden Store that has the lava rock. It's nothing special really. And then it flows through this bed down into the lower bed, down into the lower bed. And I'll show you what this stuff is. And there's Edgar. We just planted this a few weeks ago, and you can see the lettuce is going crazy. In fact, it got kind of warm, so a lot of it is bolting, and he happens to be changing it out at that moment. And also, before I go, I do have as an additional layer of security. You want layers. I do have these security cameras throughout my entire property. And I personally like my security visible simply because if somebody is looking and deciding, well, are they going to go here or are they going to go there? If they see a house has lots of security and the one next to it doesn't, where are they most likely to go? Where the security is not. So the roots and the lava rocks help to clean the water that then goes back into the pond. This grow bed here, this is duckweed and azolla, which is very nutrient dense for the chickens, for the ducks, for the quail, and for the fish. So that's who eats that. And it's really, I personally have not eaten that. I have eaten some of this stuff because they said, oh, humans could eat it too. No, that I don't really care for. Now, this is where we put all of the babies that we can grab when we get them. And Gil, who is my main guy, well, they're all my main guys, really. Everybody does something different. But Gil was rebuilding this tilapia pond, and he put in a better filtration system, and here's the bucket like you saw there. So this was in the process. He just did this recently, and this is the skimmer. Yeah, that's the skimmer. So again, you're going from higher to lower, and then it circulates back through. And I'll show you that in a minute. Because these trays, well, the top tray has the lava rock in it, so it creates a bog. But again, it's harder to see with this. But all of these trays are also at an angle so that, again, you're going higher to lower, and it filters through the lava rock, and then it goes down to the next layer and the next layer and the next layer, and then it comes out, and then it goes filters back through again. So there are additional filters here, which you can see. And even in those buckets that are filters, we fill it with the lava rocks. We want the roots, and there's some beautiful lettuce. In fact, I guess Ryan took it, because I brought in, oh darn, sorry about that, but I brought in a bunch of lettuce and eggplants, etc. So that's the high bucket, and then the lower bucket. This is from a 300-gallon IBC tank, which you're going to see in a minute. And we cut off the top of it. And this we're using for that next filtration. And it goes right across the whole little pond. And that, by the way, is 3 feet wide and 10 feet long. So it's easy to work with. And that's where we put all the babies. When they get bigger, then we move them out. We're also growing in there water lettuce, which is what this is, and that is really good food for the chickens, the quails, and the ducks. The fish will just eat maybe a little whatever gathers on their roots, but the roots also help to clean the water. And then the last system that I'm going to show you is my indoor grow area, because I do believe David Dubine, and we know that it seems like climate change is happening. And also, if people start to riot, because when people are hungry and hopeless, they make choices they would not otherwise make. So I wanted to have an indoor grow area so that no matter what the temperature, the climate, or anybody outside that's trying to come in, I wanted to be able to grow our food. So this is a 300 gallon IBC tank. You cut those are easy to get and cheap. You can probably get them on Craigslist in your area, which is where I think we found these. And do you remember how much they were, Megan? Like, I want to say like $110 each. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to it. But those are very easy to get. You cut the top off, like I showed you how we were using it in the hothouse pond. Here we're using it here. And in here are a bunch of teenage tilapia. So the most mature ones are in the large pond. Now, mind you, they are all hard to catch. But we do catch them. They are delicious. This is probably the easiest place to catch them because they're hard to get away from us. But this is a 300-gallon tank. It's pretty easy. And we haven't completely finished this area yet, but the fish water goes into the grow area and then it filters through. You can see it right here, the lava rock filtration, and then also filtered water goes back into that tank. So that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions, nobody here at ITM really understands this system. And also what I'd really like you to know is I've done it on my scale because, frankly, I'm crazy. But this can be done on a much smaller scale. This is aquaponics because the fish generate the nutrients. So you could do this with, say, a 10 or 20 gallon tank and then just get a shelving unit. And as long as you angle it so that the water can flow downhill, and then you can plumb it to have, the water go up into the top area again and then filter down and circulate like that. You could really do this in as little as, those shelves that you can pick up at any hardware store. So, and all of a sudden now you'll be able to grow enough food for, well, at least you. Excuse me. So I don't want this to seem, I have help. I obviously don't do this all by myself. I have a lot of help, and we've learned how to do it. We are setting up a new website that will be really more dealing with this on the pond, and I'll have my guys that are actually executing this. They'll be doing some videos on that. We're probably a couple of months away from being ready for that yet, but don't call ITM to find out about aquaponics because they aren't going to know. You can send the questions in to questions at itmtrading.com, and then in the subject, just specify what it is. They'll send them to Megan. They'll give them to Megan. She'll give them to me, and we'll get them answered. But your strategy specialists here aren't going to know the answers most likely. So we've got SGT this week, and that is probably going to be released any time now. Next week, I'm with David Modell, and it's been a while. I'm really looking forward to talking to him again. And don't forget to visit our blog at itmtrading.com/blog. And all of this will also be on Brighteon.com. So remember that if you have this, you're going to be able to buy food as long as it's available. If you grow it, you don't have to worry about it. But physical gold and silver are your financial shield. And until next we speak, please be safe out there. Bye-bye.